Congratulations, you're in witness protection. You saw something. Maybe you said something. Either way, you cooperated, and now the federal government has decided keeping you alive is worth the paperwork. The U.S. Marshals Service has done this about 19,000 times since 1971. They're good at it. You, on the other hand, have never done anything like this before. So here's what happens next. You sign a memorandum of understanding, roughly 20 pages. You agree to follow the rules. You agree to cut contact with your old life. You agree to relocate and take a new name. In exchange, the marshals cover your housing and your basic living costs and help you find work. The average payout runs around $60,000. That sounds like a lot. It isn't, especially once you understand what you're giving up to collect it. Your name is gone first, not gone like you forgot it, gone like it never existed. The marshals help you pick a new last name, sometimes a new first name too, new social security number, new birth certificate, new driver's license, the whole stack. You get some input on the name. Most people pick something that starts with the same letter as what they had before. It makes the habit easier. You're going to slip up regardless. Someone shouts across a parking lot and you don't turn around. Your new name doesn't live in your body yet. That takes months. Some people say it takes years. A few say it never fully settles in, that they spend the rest of their lives with a slight pause before they answer to it, like a half second of lag between who they are and who they're supposed to be. Then comes the city. You don't choose it. They do. It's somewhere you've never been, far from wherever you were before. You arrive with whatever fit in 2 bags because that's all they told you to bring. Your new apartment is already furnished. Basic stuff. A couch, a bed, a kitchen table with 4 chairs you'll never fill. It smells like carpet cleaner. The marshals walk you through the neighborhood once. They point out the grocery store and the nearest hospital. Then they leave. You stand in the middle of this apartment and look at the walls. They're white, very white. You don't know a single person in this city. You don't know anyone within 400 miles. And your phone has exactly 3 contacts in it, all of them federal employees. The rules are strict. No contact with anyone from before. No calling your mother on her real number. No driving back to see the town you grew up in. If you need to reach family, you do it through the Marshals Service. They arrange it. They monitor it. You are not supposed to tell anyone in your new life about any of it. Not a coworker you like. Not a neighbor who keeps bringing you food. Not whoever you start seeing 6 months in. That last one is the hardest. Someone asks where you're from, and you say somewhere else. They ask about your family, and you give them the story you rehearsed. It's hollow, and it lands hollow. Does this person like you, or do they like a version of you that doesn't exist? That question gets in early, and it stays. Your kids take it hard, but knowing something is coming doesn't make it easier when it arrives. They lose their friends, their school, their grandparents, their whole geography of what normal means. You can't fully explain why. What you can tell them is vague and frightening and opens more doors than it closes. They start a new school under new names with a new backstory. Their parents helped them rehearse. Some adapt, some don't. Researchers who study this say kids in these programs often carry the weight of it longer than the adults do. That tracks. They didn't make the choice. They just inherited it. The thing nobody prepares you for is how exhausting it is to be no one. Your old identity had mass to it. Decades of context. People who knew your face before you knew your own. All of that is gone. You're starting from zero in your 40s with a fabricated name and a story that stops 3 questions deep. Some people build something real anyway. They find a routine, settle in, stop expecting the floor to drop. Others can't hold still. Henry Hill lasted about 2 years before his cover was blown. Sammy Gravano made it 8 years, then ran a 50-person drug operation out of Tempe, Arizona, $500,000 a week. The marshals found out the way they usually find out.